Okay. And if it said direct variation, you would have to divide the y by the x. So next one, what is the formula for y is directly proportional to x? So remember what I said over here. Y equals k times x is my answer. Find the HCF of 30 and 36. So what is the biggest number that I can divide both of these numbers by? And the answer is 6. Another way I could do it is I write down all my factors. 1 times 30 is 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. 1 times 36, and 3 times 12, and 6 times 6. So the biggest number that they have in common is 6. So that's my answer. So the biggest number, the highest number. Now, multiple, least common multiple of 16 and 24. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put 16, 24 here. I'm going to list the multiples. So 16, I can't add, 32, 48. So 24, 48, I already know these are two numbers. They're the least common multiple. Simplify 15 over 20. I could divide both of these by 5. My answer is going to be 3 over 4. What's an equivalent fraction to 5 over 6? So 5 over 6, 9 over 12. 6 times 9 is 54. 12 times 5 is 60. They're not equivalent. 5 over 6, 8 over 12. 6 times 8 is 48. 12, is that 5? 12 times 5 is 60. These are not the same. So wrong, wrong. 10 over 12, 5 over 6. 12 times 5 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. These are equivalent to each other. So that's my answer. 2.71 plus 2.15. I add them together. 1 plus 5 is 6. 7 plus 1 is 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3.25 minus 1.67. So I cannot do 5 minus 7 because this is a small number. This right here is a big number. I can't take 7 away from 5. Same thing over here, 2 minus 6. I can't do that because this number here is smaller than the number on the bottom. So I have to borrow, to self from the 3. So if I take 1 from the 3, this is going to become 2. I put the 1 in front of the 2. This becomes 12. But I'll also have to borrow from the 12. If I take 1 from the 12, it's going to be 11. Then I put the 1 over here in front of the 5. So it's going to be 15. So 15 minus 7 is 8. 11 minus 6 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. 0.5 times 10. If I times 10, I move my decimal to the right 1 time. Times 100, 2 times to the right, and on and on. So I'm going to move it 1 time. My answer is going to be 5. 3629 divided by 1000. If I divide by 10, I move my decimal to the left 1 time. Divide by 100 2 times. Divide by 1000 30 times. So here I have let's divide by 100. Sorry, I'm gonna move my decimal 2 times to the left. My answer is 36.29. Sorry, 32.69. So 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4. When you're adding, the bottom number has to be the same. This is 3, this is 4, they're not the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply this by 4. And then I'm gonna multiply the opposite side by 3. Because 4 times 3 is 12, so these two are the same now, right? But if I multiply the denominator or the bottom by 4, I have to do the top as well, or the numerator as well. So 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 times 4 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. Now they're the same, right? So the bottom number is always going to remain the same. It's going to be 12, even in the answer. 8 plus 4, I'm going to add that together, and just give me 1 second, I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Sorry guys, let me try to do this again. I think I did something wrong. So 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4. I'm going to multiply this by 4, multiply this by 3, multiply this by 3. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, I think I put 4 there. 4 times 3 is 12. So my answer is going to be 11 over 12. Same thing here, 2 over 8 minus 1 over 4. There's two ways you can do this, but just so you don't get confused, we'll do it the way we always do. I'm going to multiply this by 4, multiply this by 8. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 8 is 32, minus 1 times 8 is 8, 4 times 8 is 32. 8 minus 8 is 0 over 32. 0 divided by 32 is just 0. For this one, I could just multiply this by 2, this by 2. It's going to be 2 over 8 minus 2 over 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. The denominator stays the same. 0 over 8 is just 0. When I multiply, it's easy. I just multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 5 is 20. So I see none of my answers are the same as the one I have here. That's because I have to simplify. I can divide this by 2. My answer is going to be 3 over 10. Last one, I cannot divide a fraction by a fraction. What I have to do is I have to memorize this rule. So anytime you want to divide a fraction, you have to change it to multiplication. How do I do that? The rule is called keep, change, and flip. So I keep this first fraction the same, I change the division to multiplication, and I flip the fraction, or I multiply by the reciprocal. So 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2.